Greetings world. We are anonymous. Last year, on March 2019, a mysterious shipment was caught smuggling coronavirus from Canada. It was traced to Chinese agents working at a Canadian lab. An investigation linked the agents to Chinese biological warfare program from where the virus is suspected to have leaked, causing the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak. The report on coronavirus being a bioweapon has caused a major international controversy and is suppressed actively and highly by the corporate paid mainstream media. On June 13, 2012, a 60-year-old Saudi man was admitted to a private hospital in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a 7-day history of fever, cough, expectoration, and shortness of breath. He had no history of cardiopulmonary or renal disease, was receiving no long-term medications, and did not smoke. Egyptian virologist Dr. Ali Mohammed Zaki isolated and identified a previously unknown coronavirus from his lungs. After routine diagnostics failed to identify the unknown agent, Zaki contacted Ron Fauci, a leading virologist at the Erasmus Medical Center in Rotterdam, Netherlands, for advice. Here are the chest radiographs of the patient. First day of admission. 2 days later. 4 days after admission. Fauci sequenced the virus from a sample sent by Zaki. Fauci used a broad-spectrum real-time polymerase chain reaction method to test for distinguishing features of a number of known coronaviruses that are known to infect humans. This undated file image released by the British Health Protection Agency shows an electron microscopic image of a coronavirus, part of a family of viruses that cause ailments including the common cold and SARS, which was first identified in the Middle East. This coronavirus sample was sent to Scientific Director Dr. Frank Plummer, of Canada's National Microbiology Laboratory in Winnipeg, directly from Fauci, who received it from Zaki. Unfortunately, Dr. Frank Plummer, who received the Saudi SARS coronavirus sample, and was working on a coronavirus HIV vaccine in the Winnipeg-based Canadian lab, died of mysterious conditions in Nairobi, Kenya. The virus was reportedly stolen from the Canadian lab by Chinese biowarfare agents. When the coronavirus arrived at Canada's Winnipeg facility on May 4, 2013 from a Dutch lab, the Canadian lab grew up stocks of the virus and used it to assess diagnostic tests in Canada. Winnipeg scientists worked to see which animal species can be infected with the new virus. Research was done in conjunction with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's national lab, the National Centre for Foreign Animal Diseases, which is housed in the same complex as the National Microbiology Laboratory. The National Microbiology Laboratory has a long history of offering comprehensive testing services for coronaviruses. It isolated and provided the first genome sequence of the SARS coronavirus, and identified another coronavirus, NL63, in 2004. This Winnipeg-based Canadian lab was targeted by the Chinese agents in what could be termed as biological espionage. In March 2019, in a mysterious event, a shipment of exceptionally virulent viruses from Canada's National Microbiology Laboratory ended up in China. The event caused a major scandal with biowarfare experts questioning, why was Canada sending lethal viruses to China? Scientists from the National Microbiology Laboratory said that the highly lethal viruses were a potential bioweapon. Following an investigation, the incident was traced to Chinese agents working at National Microbiology Laboratory. 4 months later, in July 2019, a group of Chinese virologists were forcibly dispatched from the Canadian laboratory. The laboratory is Canada's only Level 4 facility, and one of only a few in North America equipped to handle the world's deadliest diseases, including Ebola, SARS, coronavirus, and many others. The National Microbiology Laboratory scientist who was escorted out of the Canadian lab, along with her husband, another biologist, and members of her research team, is believed to be a Chinese biowarfare agent. Xiang Guoqiu. Xiang Guoqiu was the head of the Vaccine Development and Antiviral Therapies section in the Special Pathogens Program. Xiang Guoqiu is an outstanding Chinese scientist born in Tianjin. She primarily received her medical doctorate degree from Hebei Medical University in China in 1985. and came to Canada for graduate studies in 1996. Later on, she was affiliated with the Institute of Cell Biology and the Department of Pediatrics and Child Health of the University of Manitoba, Winnipeg. She was not engaged with studying pathogens, but somehow, a certain shift took place. In 2006, she began studying powerful viruses in the facility. The viruses that were shipped from the Canadian lab to China were studied by her in 2014. The viruses were Macupo, Junum, Rift Valley fever, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, and Hendra. Dr. Xiang Baoqiu is married to another Chinese scientist, Dr. Keding Cheng, also affiliated with the National Microbiology Laboratory, specifically, the Science and Technology Corps. Dr. Cheng is primarily a bacteriologist, who shifted to virology. The couple is responsible for infiltrating Canada's laboratory with many Chinese agents, as students from a range of Chinese scientific facilities directly tied to China's biological warfare program. These facilities are 1. Institute of Military Veterinary and Academy of Military Medical Sciences, in Shenzhen. 2. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, in the Chengdu Military Region. 3. Wuhan Institute of Virology, in Hubei. 4. Institute of Microbiology, in Beijing. Sources say, Xiang Baoqiu and her husband Keding Cheng were escorted from the Canadian lab in Winnipeg on July 5, 2019. Since then, the University of Manitoba has ended their appointments, reassigned her graduate students, and cautioned all staff, students, and faculty members about traveling to China. All of the 4 facilities collaborated with Dr. Xiang Baoqiu within the context of the Ebola virus. The Institute of Military Veterinary joined a study on the Rift Valley fever virus too, while the Institute of Microbiology joined a study on Marburg virus. Noticeably, the drug used in the latter study, favipiravir, has been tested successfully by the Chinese Academy of Military Medical Sciences, with the designation JK05, originally a Japanese patent registered in China in 2006, against Ebola and other viruses. However, the studies by Dr. Qiu are considerably more advanced and apparently vital for the Chinese biological weapons development in the case of coronavirus, Ebola, Nipah, Marburg, or Rift Valley fever viruses. The Canadian investigation is ongoing, and questions remain to whether previous shipments to China of other viruses or other essential preparations took place. From 2006 to 2018, Dr. Gary Kobinger, former Chief of Special Pathogens, and Dr. Xiang Baoqiu met with Dr. Kent Brantley and Dr. Linda Mobulet, an assistant professor at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, and the physician who administered ZMapp to Brantley in Liberia, when he was infected with Ebola during the 2014 to 2016 outbreak. Dr. Xiang Baoqiu also collaborated in 2018 with 3 scientists from the United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases in Maryland, studying post-exposure immunotherapy for 2 Ebola viruses and Marburg virus in monkeys, a study supported by the U.S. Defense Threat Reduction Agency. Dr. Xiang Baoqiu made at least 5 trips over the school year of 2017 to 2018 to the Wuhan National Biosafety Laboratory of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, which was certified for Biosafety Level 4 standards in January 2017. In August 2017, the National Health Commission of China approved research activities involving Ebola, Nipah, and Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever viruses at the Wuhan facility. Coincidentally, the Wuhan National Biosafety Laboratory is located only 20 miles away from the Huanan Seafood Market, which is the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, now dubbed the Wuhan coronavirus. The Wuhan National Biosafety Laboratory is housed at the Chinese military facility Wuhan Institute of Virology, and is linked to China's biological warfare program. It was the first ever lab in the country designed to meet Biosafety Level 4 standards, the highest biohazard level, meaning that it would be qualified to handle the most dangerous pathogens. In January 2018, the laboratory was operational for global experiments on Biosafety Level 4 pathogens. The Wuhan Institute has studied coronaviruses in the past, including the strain that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, H5N1 influenza virus, Japanese encephalitis, and dengue. But after a laboratory leak incident of SARS in 2004, the former Ministry of Health of China initiated the construction of preservation laboratories for high-level pathogens such as SARS, coronavirus, and pandemic influenza virus. In a 2015 academic paper, it states that more than 40 Chinese facilities are involved in bioweapon production. China's Academy of Military Medical Sciences actually developed an Ebola drug, called JK05, but little has been divulged about it, or the defense facility's possession of the virus, prompting speculation on its Ebola cells, are part of China's biowarfare arsenal. Ebola is classified as a Category A bioterrorism agent by the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, meaning it could be easily transmitted from person to person. That would result in high death rates. The CDC lists Nipah as a Category C substance, a deadly emerging pathogen that could be engineered for mass dissemination. China's biological warfare program is believed to include a full range of traditional chemical and biological agents, with a wide variety of delivery systems, including artillery rockets, aerial bombs, sprayers, and short-range ballistic missiles. China's national strategy of military-civil fusion has highlighted biology as a priority, and the People's Liberation Army could be at the forefront of expanding and exploiting this knowledge. The People's Liberation Army is pursuing military applications for biology, and looking into promising intersections with other disciplines, including brain science, supercomputing, and artificial intelligence. Since 2016, the Central Military Commission has funded projects on military brain science, advanced biomimetic systems, biological and biomimetic materials, human performance enhancement, and a new concept, biotechnology. In 2016, the potential strategic value of genetic information led the Chinese government to launch the National Gene Bank, which intends to become the world's largest repository of such data. It aims to develop and utilize China's valuable genetic resources, safeguard national security in bioinformatics, and enhance China's capability to seize the strategic commanding heights in the domain of biotechnology warfare. Chinese military's interest in biology as an emerging domain of warfare is guided by strategists who talk about potential genetic weapons and the possibility of a bloodless victory. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. To the governments of China and Canada, we demand that you stop the testing of dangerous viruses. As you can see of what is going on, things can become much worse if an even more powerful virus you test manages to get loose and destroys all of humanity. We will now be watching humanity from all around our planet Earth. It is time to rise and put an end on all facilities that does nothing but test new viruses. Let us, humanity, show them how tired we are. If not, we all will be confined in our homes like prisoners. So, let them expect all of us.